What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video. It is Sunday. It is September 17th, and we are back. I know it's a Sunday. I know you guys are mainly going to focus on NFL, but I wanted to bring you MLB content while we still have it. Now, we're into the part of the season where it's Sundays. People are going to rest. Teams that have already clinched, they're going to start resting some of their players. Catchers rest on Sundays. Teams that are already out of it, probably you're going to have, different players on there. So we're still going to cover everything. If you've never been here before, you're in for a treat, hopefully. We go through all the games, we go through all the pitching, we go through all the hitting as well that we like. That being said, some of the lineups are probably going to be a little bit weird, kind of moving on when, September call-ups and stuff are here. I know most of you are going to focus on NFL, but there will be some of those that do watch these videos and still play MLB DFS. So today really is MLB and NFL. We had NASCAR and MMA on, and obviously PGA on Saturday, and then PGA was the whole weekend. So we're bringing this to you, but if you have not already checked out all of our information, I'm going to link at the end of this video. I have a complete NFL Week 2 breakdown, all the matchups, the Vegas numbers, everything. That video is live. It went out Saturday. Normally, I'm going to try to get that out like earlier in the week, just to kind of get that out there so you guys have more time to watch it. I got sick and I had no voice, and that's what happened. So we're going to get into that. If you've never been here before, normally anytime a video gets at least 50 likes, you leave a comment and you are a subscriber, you have a chance to win a free week of DFS content brought to you by FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. If a video gets 100 likes, you have a chance to win a free month pass. 125 likes, a chance to win a free year, and if any video gets 150 likes, you have a chance to win a lifetime pass. Yesterday's video didn't get 50 likes. At the time of this recording, it was 47 likes, and I think that's kind of going to be the kind of trend because we're into NFL season, so people aren't watching baseball as much. We're still going to cover it. We're going to look at it. We're going to dig into it. So let's just get started. We're going to look at everything, and if you want to check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, FTA Plus, $24.99 for a month gets you all of these sports: MLB, MMA, NASCAR, NFL, and PGA. And obviously, once NBA comes back, we'll have NBA as well. On top of that, it's sports betting too. Tomorrow is the last day you can use the promo code NFL VIP. So if you go to FTA Plus and you sign up for a year, normally $199 for an entire year, you get it for $99, get $100 off using the promo code NFL VIP, all one word, all capital letters. That being said, let's jump into it. First game on the slate, Rays at the Orioles. It's been a great series so far, flip-flopping back and forth. And we've got Zach Littell versus Dean Kramer here. Now, kind of just looking at this, there is a weather concern here. There is weather concerns in the Yankees at Pittsburgh game. And there is weather concern for Minnesota and Chicago White Sox. Now, whether or not these are going to be a bad weather concern, whether or not it's going to be nothing, that's definitely something to monitor. So, looking at this, we got Zach Littell here, 6,200. Honestly, I don't think I like this. The way that we just saw Tyler Glasnow get lit up by Tampa Bay on Saturday, I'm not really feeling this one. He's had two really good games there. Now he's 6,200. He's faced Baltimore twice this year, 3 innings pitched total, so he hasn't seen him much. Still on the Baltimore side, so I don't want anything to do with Littell. I actually do like Dean Kramer, who is 8,400. He's had success against them one time this year. Coming off a bad start against St. Louis, I think people will be off of him. Again, I'm going to be focused very little on baseball now that NFL season is here. It's just kind of how we go. I'm still going to put in the work, but I'm not going to be making as many lineups as I normally do. That being said, in this matchup, I think I'm taking Dean Kramer over Littell. I think I'm taking the Baltimore bat. So the Baltimore bats that I'd look at would be Adley Rutschman, Ryan Mountcastle. Let's let it load. But Anthony Santander, Gunnar Henderson I love today. Heston Kjerstad, if he's in there, I'd be a cheap option. Maybe Austin Hayes a little bit too. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at Tampa Bay bats today. Next game, the Yankees at the Pirates. Carlos Rodon versus to be announced. According to DraftKings, they think it's going to be Andre Jackson. He's the least priced pitcher. He last pitched on Monday. He's had 2 back-to-back games of minus fantasy points. He has gone 4 to 5 innings, so that gives me all I like. Rodon had a few bad games this year. He had a really good game against Boston. 5 innings. Whether or not they tweaked something and they found it, he had 9 Ks in 5 innings. Not saying he's going to have another outing like that, but I do actually kind of like him here. He's pitching on the road. He does have a better ERA. So at 6,900, I will definitely be taking some exposure to Rodon. Now, if it is Andre Jackson, I do love a Yankee stack. So I love an Aaron Judge. I love Gleyber Torres, DJ LeMahieu. Again, though, it's Sunday. They're probably going to rest some guys. So definitely pay attention. I could see Judge being rested today. I would look at Oswald Peraza. I would look at Oswaldo Cabrera. Austin Wells has been hitting the ball kind of well. Estevan Florial I'm okay with. There's a lot of young talent in this Yankees team that are still relatively cheap as a stack. So I really do like Rodon as a pitcher. I don't like if it's Andre Jackson, and I don't like the Pirates bat. So I'll be looking at a stack for Rodon and the Yankees. Red Sox at the Blue Jays. This was a really good game out of Chris Sale until the bullpen blew it. Then they went into extra innings, and Toronto ended up taking it down in the 12th. Nick Pivetta versus Ryu. Now, I really don't want either of these pitchers. I think I kind of am looking at both offenses here. So I'm not going to look at the pitchers. I would look at both offenses. So let's take a look real quick. So Boston did put Tristan Casas on the IL for the rest of the year, which kind of came out of nowhere. But looking against Ryu, I would use Rafael Devers. I would use Justin Turner against the lefty. I would use Trevor Story against the lefty. Adam Duvall hits lefties very, very well. Rob Refsnyder would be a cheap option. Rafaela would be a good option there. Those would be the ones that I'd look at, that I'd mainly focus on. Maybe a Will Abreu if he's in there. Don't know if he will be. Maybe Bobby Dahlbeck, but I don't even know if did he just get called back up? Let's see. Yep. Okay. So he just got called back up due to Casas being put on the IL. So, I mean, he hasn't done much. 167. He would be a cheap option at 2,600, though. So he could be an option for you. Flip side of that, though, I would look at Vlad Guerrero's been heating up lately. Matt Chapman I'm looking at. Bo Bichette I don't mind. Dalton Varsho I'm okay with. George Springer. Davis Schneider, but he is actually kind of expensive on at least DraftKings. Kiermaier might be another cheaper option that you could look at here against Nick Pivetta. But I don't want anything to do with either of these pitchers. I'd rather have the offenses. Reds at the Mets, Brandon Williamson versus Jose Quintana. Now, if you've been with us before, you've been to the channel, you know that I love a pitcher going up against a team that he has not faced ever. Williamson, though, it depends. So let's take a look at his numbers here. 7,500 game logs. He has, not a good start there. A couple of good starts here. Pitching on the road, he has a worse ERA on the road, but it is Citi Field. It is a massive pitcher's park. So tournament-wise, I'm okay with. I'm pretty much what I've going to expect the rest of the way out. Just tournaments. I don't know if I'd really trust cash lineups, just because, again, we don't know the lineups that are coming out. Sometimes we've never heard of the players. Could go back and forth. I'm more of just into tournaments the rest of the year until playoffs, but it's really into your preference. But in tournaments, I love Brandon Williamson. Jose Quintana, looking at these numbers, not a good start there. Had a good start there. Had a good start there. Not there. Splits-wise, has not faced Cincy this year. He's pitching at home where he does have a better ERA at home, 2.05. I think he's a tournament option that I would feel I would feel a little okay with that. So looking at this, Quintana in tournaments, I'm completely fine with. Does come in 3.05 ERA, 2-5 record. If you're not using either of these pitchers, you want to look at bats. So 2 lefties, so the righty bats that you could be looking at. It really just depends. No one really jumps out to me for the Reds right now. I mean, Hunter Renfroe hits lefties well. Harrison Bader's supposed to hit lefties well. You could look at that. Jonathan India, I'm okay with. TJ Friedl, I'm okay with. Flip side of that, anytime Pete Alonso is going up against a lefty, has a chance to hit a home run. I love Pete Alonso here. I like Francisco Lindor. I like a little bit of Francisco Alvarez. Maybe Brandon Nimmo. It really just depends. And the Mets might not be a team that I want to stack. It might just be if I'm taking a player on the Mets, I'm taking Pete Alonso. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a home run. I did call a Schwarber. I do want to point that out. I did call a Kyle Schwarber on Saturday. I said it was going to lead off the game. He didn't. He hit a 3-run bomb, though. He still hit one. Part of the home run picks that I put out. So I'm feeling a Pete Alonso home run today. I really am. Next game, Rangers at the Guardians, to be announced versus Gavin Williams. Now, it's thinking it's going to be Martin Perez, but he was in relief, so this might be one of those. He's gonna, 2 innings. He's gonna come in. The fact that he's starting but not starting, and if you've been here before, you know that I absolutely hate. I hate openers. We don't know what we're going to get out of them. We don't know what to expect. Martin Perez at 5,600 is going less than 2 innings. That's a big no for me, dog. I'm not using him. No one should. Flip side of that, Gavin Williams is going up against Texas, which obviously we all know they're a very, really good team. Very, very, very good team this year. Corey Seager's due for a home run for us. Gavin Williams coming off not a good start against San Francisco in San Francisco, which is a pitcher's park. 6.1 innings. Had a good game here and then some stinkers here. Splits-wise, he's faced Texas once this year. Only 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 4 Ks at 10.5, which obviously would not hit at least 2 times value, which we'd be looking at 16.4 fantasy points there. So not liking that much at all. I'd rather take a Texas stack. Again, it really depends on who's out there. Overall, I'm not going to take Texas pitcher, but I would be looking at, obviously, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Jonah Heim. Is Mitch Garver still day-to-day, or is he good? Mitch Garver, here we go. So he DH'd on Friday. He probably the DH. I don't know. I'm probably not going to pay $4,500 for him. I would look at Jonah Heim there. Josh H. Smith I would look at. But yeah, the Corey Seager. I'm feeling a Corey Seager home run today too. I might be doing a parlay of like Corey Seager, Pete Alonso, and trying to figure out a third one. Who knows? Maybe we'll figure it out. We don't know. So, not using either pitcher here. I'd rather stack the Texas Rangers against Gavin Williams. Braves at the Marlins. Now, looking into these numbers, Jesus Luzardo's had a little bit of success against the Braves, and they just dominated the Braves on Saturday. But it's still the Braves. They've still clinched, so I honestly could see big guys, big names coming out not playing. Charlie Morton, I'm okay with Charlie Morton for tournaments. 140 plate appearances, 250 batting average. Jesus Luzardo for tournaments, I'm okay with as well. I think the Jesus Lizard could rise again, but I think I'm rather looking at Braves bats. If they're in there, Ronald Acuna against a lefty, Austin Riley against a lefty, Marcell Ozuna against a lefty. You could go Matt Olson against a lefty, even though it's a lefty-on-lefty matchup. He hit his 52nd and franchise-breaking home run on Saturday. So check out the lineup for the Braves. I think they're going to be a very popular stack. So if you want to get off the field, go to a different team with a stack. But that's kind of my thought in this one. Watch the lineup, see who comes out. But again, it would be the Braves for me over the Marlins, even though the Marlins dominated. Luis Ariz had another home run. He would be an option. Brian De La Cruz, Jesus Sanchez. Jazz had a home. I think Jazz had a 3-run home run. Those would be all the Miami bats that I would look at if I'm not going either pitcher. Astros at the Royals. What's going on with the Astros? They should have swept this not division. They should have swept this series. This is a pitcher's park, so looking at Framber, the problem is his price. So let's look here. He's 9,900. Coming off a good game against Oakland. They still lost that game. He gave up 3 earned runs, but he had 26.8 fantasy points because he had 10 Ks. The most amount of Ks he's had since against the Angels with 13. He has not faced Kansas City this year. Pitching on the road, he's got a worse ERA on the road, and Kansas City's been hitting well. Honestly, I do like Framber Valdez a little bit, but I kind of like a Kansas City stack here. I don't know if I want to pay in this game for pitching. I like both sides offense-wise. So just looking at the offenses here, it really depends on the lineups that come out because, again, it's Sunday. People are going to sit. So the Astros side, depending on who's in there, Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, Michael Brantley, these lefty bats I absolutely love. Yanner Diaz, if he's in there, I do love him against lefties more, but I'm okay with Diaz there. You want to get a little bit, obviously a Bregman, McCormick, Jose Altuve, those are all good options. Jeremy Pena. You want to go a little bit cheaper, John Singleton for tournaments, I'm okay with. A Jake Myers, if he's in there, Mauricio Dubon, if they're in there. Cheaper options for me for the Astros. Flip side of that, Kansas City bats, they've been coming alive for us. Nelson Velasquez, I called a home run on Friday. He hit a home run on Friday. He's just been on fire pretty much when we've used him. I would look at him. Bobby Witt Jr., when he's not hitting home runs, he's stealing bases. Those are fantasy points gold right there. I would look at Bobby Witt Jr. I would look at Nelson Velasquez. I would look at MJ Melendez. Salvi Perez against the lefty. If he's in, I love me some Salvi Perez. Michael Massey. Love Michael Massey. And Edward Olivares. Those are the cheaper options that I would look at. So I'm probably avoiding both of these pitchers. Probably looking at just the offenses there. Twins at the White Sox. Sonny Gray versus Dylan Cease. Now, Sonny Gray has actually gotten lit up quite a bit. 11.6 is not enough. 10.7 is not enough. Hit it here. He hit it here. So he's had a couple of bad starts in a row. One against Cleveland, one against Tampa Bay. Now he's got a matchup against the White Sox. He's faced them twice this year already. 1 win, 11 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 9 Ks. He's actually had a lot of success against them, but his average of 17.5 is under 2 times his $9,300 price tag. That's a little bit scary for me. Tournaments, I'm okay with. But his price is up there that he hasn't hit value in a couple of games, and we've seen the White Sox hitting the ball lately. So I'm a little bit scared of that. And then we got Dylan Cease on the other hand. We used him his last start against Kansas City. He 27 fantasy points, exactly what we needed. But, against Kansas City the game before that, 12. 15.5, not value. Minus 2.7, not value. 8.5, not value. Then he hit value here. Splits-wise, he's faced Minnesota 3 times this year. 16 innings pitched, but he hasn't given up 8 runs, 6 of them earned. 8 walks, 21 strikeouts, 1 home run. So he hasn't been bitten by the home run ball. And all of those numbers, he's still averaging 19.1 fantasy points per game. And that would be 2 times value for him. Be 2.5 times value. Not 2.5. Over 2 times value. And he's pitching at home where he does have a slightly better ERA at 4.32. So I do like Dylan Cease here. I kind of like both of these pitchers. I think Dylan Cease is more of your cash option. I think Sonny Gray is more of your tournament option. If you're not going with either bat or either pitcher here and you're looking at the bats, Kirilloff. So Minnesota bats would be Kirilloff, Jorge Polanco, Matt Wallner, Carlos Correa, Edward Julian. These are ones that I would look at. White Sox bats, Andrew Vaughn, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert Jr., Gavin Sheets, maybe Tim Anderson. Those are the bats that I'm focusing on both sides if you're not going with either pitcher there. Then we got the Nationals at the Brewers. We've got Patrick Corbin versus Brandon Woodruff. I'm not using either of the, or I'm not using Patrick Corbin. I am using Brandon Woodruff. He is very expensive, but I am still using him against this team. And I am stacking the Brewers against him. And it might be surprising who I kind of like here. So digging in here, I would be looking at, and it's crazy to think about, I would be looking at William Contreras against the lefty, I'm okay with. Josh Donaldson as a tournament option, I'm okay with. Carlos Santana, I think he had a home run on Saturday, I would look at. Brian Anderson, if he's in there, is a cheap option. Willie Adames is a cheap option. I would even go down to Tyrone Taylor or Bryce Turang against him. So I really want nothing to do with Patrick Corbin. I'm stacking the Brewers. Do not be surprised if William Contreras might be my third batter for a home run. So I needed a pin. I don't want to forget. So give me 1 second. 1 second. So I have William Contreras, Pete Alonso, and now I'm drawing a blank who I said the third home run pick would be. If you guys were listening, make that your comment down below. Who did I say? Who did I say? Wasn't in that game. Oh, Corey Seager. That's right. Book it, guys. Home run parlay. William Contreras, Pete Alonso, Corey Seager. $5 on it. I'll put 5 on it. So yeah, Brewers as a stack against Patrick Corbin. Not using Patrick Corbin, and I absolutely love Brandon Woodruff. That is the reason he's the picture of this article right here and today's video. So if you want to see this, out of everything we go, the video or the article is down below in the description of this video. A couple of things I don't think I mentioned at the beginning. If you've been with us, you know that we do game simulations, and we do simulations for 2,000. So towards the end of this video, we will give you the top 15 bats after doing 2,000 simulations on the day, and then about a couple hours before main slate locks. So it'll be about 10 a.m. Central, depending on when you watch this video. It might even be out there. We will have the 10,000 simulations, and we'll post that on the website too. So we'll go through that. A few ways to support the channel. Obviously, hitting the like button, sharing these videos definitely helps. Clicking on ads helps. I know they're annoying, but they do help. And signing up for FTA Plus is one thing. And people have been donating money. Again, I mentioned this before, but super thanks are awesome. But YouTube takes 30% of super thanks. So if you are going to donate and you would want to, our Cash App is down below in the description. Or you can always email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, or hit us up on Twitter @advisors_team to I can give you a PayPal or Venmo as well as an easy way. So lots of ways to support the channel. A lot of them free, some donating too. So that is what I've got there. Next game, Phillies at the Cardinals. Taijuan Walker versus Dakota Hudson. I would look at Taijuan Walker here. 45 plate appearances, 238 batting average. I'm okay with. Dakota Hudson, 75 plate appearances, 295. I'm looking at the Phillies as a stack here. I would look at Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Castellanos, Bryce Harper, Brandon Marsh. Cheaper options, Edmundo Sosa you could look at. Bryson Stott would be another option. It really just depends. Again, it's JT Realmuto. It really depends. It's Sundays. People are going to be sitting. So just wait or get the lineups to come out. Then build your lineups through there. I don't really like Dakota Hudson. I'd rather stack against him. And, if you're not going with Walker, Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, Tommy Edman a little bit, Mason Wynn, Palacios, I'm okay with. That's basically, I kind of like Taijuan Walker for tournaments, though. Giants at the Rockies. I don't think this game's even on here. Yeah, for whatever reason, this game wasn't. You wouldn't be using pitching in this game. I would be looking at bats. So the San Francisco bats that I'd be looking at would be Lamont Wade Jr., J.D. Davis, Jock Peterson, Conforto, Wilmer Flores a little bit. Flip side of that, the Rockies bats that you could use against Manaea. If he's in, Chris Bryant is a big one. Brendan Rodgers I would look at. Nolan Jones I would look at. Tournaments, if you want to go a little bit lower, Tovar, Diaz and Charlie Blackmon would be lower ones. So I'm not focusing on pitching. You rarely want to focus on pitching. Again, we actually did take, on Friday night, we took Logan Webb as one of our pitchers on draft, or an SP2 on DraftKings, and he had a no-hitter going deep into the game in Coors. So that's different. Sean Manaea nor Chris Flexen are nowhere near Logan Webb. So I'm not using either of these. I'm definitely focusing on the bats in this one. Tigers at the Angels, you got to be announced versus Reed Detmers. So Spencer Torkelson would be another one for a home run. You could look at him. Reed Detmers, not a ton to like here. Looking at game logs, had a really good game against Seattle. Actually, a good game against Baltimore too. Splits-wise, he has not faced Detroit this year. He's pitching at home where he does have a 4.29 ERA. Tournaments, okay, I'm okay with, but again, it's a 4-game slate or 3-game slate. Really hard to know what we're going to take here. That being said, Ohtani's done for the year. So if this is in fact Joey Wentz, which he last pitched 9-12, minus 1.4 and 2.2 innings. So obviously he's an opener. He's not going to go deep. Against the Yankees, minus 0.2. So yeah, there's not really good pitching in this middle 3-game slate that I would look at. But if I'm looking at some bats, Torkelson for Detroit, maybe Javi Baez, very tournament-wise. Miggy, just because it's towards the end of his, he's done in a couple of weeks, forever. Whether or not he's got anything left in the tank, I don't know. I don't think I want to go Detmers, though. I would be looking at some of the Matt Vierling, Kerry Carpenter, Parco Meadows, if he's in. Those would be some of the bats I'd look at. I don't know if it's going to be Joey Wentz. Don't know what it's going to be. If it is a lefty, for the Angels, I would look at Brandon Drury. I would look at Logan O'Hoppe, Randall Grichuk. Just not a ton to like, to be completely honest with you. So I'm not going to be playing this 3-game slate. You might be. I'm really not going to touch it, though. Padres at the Athletics, Nick Martinez versus Ken Waldichuk. For whatever reason, they don't think it's going to be Nick Martinez. They think it's going to be Pedro Avila, who could be starting or could be opening. So we don't know. I'm probably not looking at much here. If I am, I'm definitely looking at the Padres bats against Waldichuk. I would be focusing mainly on Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr. Tatis would be another one. Be another home run option I would look at. And we're going to have some prop bets for NFL, some touchdown props. We've already hit a couple in Thursday Night Football. So we do MLB props, and we do this too. So Xander, I would look at. Hassan Kim, I'd look at there. So I'm not really focused on any of the Oakland bats. Maybe Brent Rooker. That's basically it for Oakland. If it is Nick Martinez and he goes more than 3 innings in a game, I'm okay with him. But as of now, he's not scheduled on DraftKings. So kind of just see if he's one that we need to wait for. Dodgers at the Mariners, 4:10 Eastern. We're looking at, it's going to be Gavin Stone. If it'll load. Yeah, he will pitch Sunday. They don't know if he's going to be a traditional starter or a bulk reliever. He's 6,500. He would be tournament only for me. Not a good game against the San Diego Padres. His last thing on Monday. Went 5.1 innings there, though. So he's gotten a little bit deeper there. Did give up 7 earned runs to San Diego. So I could definitely be looking at a Seattle stack here. The bats that I would look at. And then obviously Logan Gilbert against the Dodgers, 25 plate appearance. Hasn't seen him much. Probably not taking the pitching in this one. I'd rather focus on the bats on both sides. So if I'm not taking pitching, which I'm personally not, I'd be looking at JD Martinez, Mookie Betts, Max Muncy, Freddie Freeman. I even kind of like David Peralta and Outman a little bit. Cheaper option would be Jason Hayward if he's in there for some reason. Ahmed Rosario as another one. And then if it is Gavin Stone, who did, not do too much last time, I would look at Julio. I love Cal Raleigh, big dumper. Love Cal Raleigh there. Teoscar Hernandez I would look at. Jared Kelenic, if you want to go down a little bit more. Tournament-wise, J.P. Crawford, Mike Ford, Dylan Moore, those are the lowest I would go in this slate here. And that's it, because this is a Sunday night baseball game. I'm not going to focus on it because it's only single game, and those are crapshoots. So, that being said, that is the breakdown of all of the bats and all of the pitching on this day outside of the very last game. And we are go check out, at the end of this video, I will put our the breakdown of NFL DFS, but you guys wanted to see out of 2,000 simulations, I'm going to give you the top 15 bats. Now, the good thing is we do 10,000 of these. You don't have to agree with all of them. I don't always agree with all of them. So by the time you watch this video, it could have changed already from 2,000 simulations to 10,000. So as of now, through 2,000 simulations, the number one bat is saying Mike Yastrzemski in Coors against Chris Flexen. That's number one. Ronald Acuna against Luzardo is number 2. Jock Peterson is number 3. Kyle Tucker is 4. Jordan is 5. Austin Riley is 6. Josh Lowe is 7. 8 is Trey Turner. 9 is Max Kepler. 10 is Marcell Ozuna. 11 is Kyle Schwarber. 12 is Bryce Harper. 13 is Yandy Diaz. 14 is Alex Bregman. And 15 is Seiya Suzuki for the Chicago Cubs against Ryan Nelson on Sunday Night Baseball. Then the pitching. I don't always agree with him. I actually agree with number 1. Brandon Woodruff is number 1. Number 2 is Brandon Williamson. 3 is Charlie Morton. 4 is Nick Pivetta. 5 is Jose Quintana. 6 is Sonny Gray. 7 is Dylan Cease. 8 is Ken Waldichuk. I don't agree with that. Number 9 is Hyunjin Ryu. 10 is Pedro Avila / Nick Martinez, whichever one is going to be out there. 11 is Framber Valdez. 12 is Dean Kramer. 13 is Jordan Wicks. 14, Jesus, the Jesus Lizard, Luzardo. And number 15 is Taijuan Walker. So those are the top 15 pitchers and bats after 2,000 simulations. Check out the website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, for everything you need. We've got ownership projections. We've got projected players for NFL. We've got points allowed by position. We've got Vegas odds. We got our cheat sheet. We got our matchups. We've got everything for you for NFL. We've got everything you need for MLB. We have MMA, NASCAR, as well as PGA. And we will be bringing in NBA once that starts in right around a month from now. So lock it in right now. Go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Good luck on this slate. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Let me know how you did DFS-wise. Hopefully your college teams won. And that's what I've got. So good luck today. And as always, you know what to do. Let's bring home some bacon. Peace.